Hello, and happy Thanksgiving. Well, to those of us living here in the United States that celebrate the holiday, that is. And to the rest of the world, November 23rd, 25 years ago today, the greatest game of all time released. Happy anniversary, Ocarina of Time. Yeah, of course, I didn't get my first copy until early 99 with tax checks. Got N64 in this game that spring. By then, most of the people I knew had already completed the game, and I kept having to tell them, hey, I don't want to hear anything about it until I can play it. Of course, people always ask why. Because, well, let me rephrase that. Like I've said in other videos regarding the subject, it wasn't my first Zelda game, like most people who have such high regard for this game 25 years later. It wasn't my introduction to the Zelda series. That was the first game back in 1988, before Zelda 2 even came out here in North America, when the first game was the only Zelda game in existence here. So yeah, basically, like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Metroid, Metal Gear, Castlevania, been a fan of the franchise from day one, basically, since the first one was the latest one. Zelda's in that list as well. Yeah, I know I'm old. I'm gonna be 52 in a couple weeks. Sheesh. And it wasn't, childhood nostalgia, because obviously, yeah, I'm gonna be 52 in a couple weeks. I was already, 28 years old, or a couple weeks shy of. I was already a couple weeks shy of my 28th birthday when this game came out in 1998, or 27th rather. I was 26 at the time. A couple weeks later would be my 27th birthday. Sorry. So yeah, hardly a kid anymore either way. No, like I've said in other videos regarding the subject, one of the things that I rate so highly of this game, or why I like this game so much, its soundtrack. Wherever that song is on here now. Trying to find it in the video I made for my music channel, the complete soundtrack on one video. By the way, my video player okay, hold on, that's not working. Alright, we'll put something on for a second. Can't find the specific track I wanted to play that way, so as like I've said in other videos, for the longest time, for about a decade, from 1988 to 1998, early 99, I would play a game, turn the sound down on the TV, and put on whatever rock album I felt like listening to that particular day, and that would be my gameplay music. Until the day I started playing this game. For whatever reason, I wasn't in the mood to do that day. I don't even remember why or why not. I get past the introduction screens, get started playing the game, get past the intro story, and get to this Kokiri Forest. And I don't know what it was about this, but for some reason this just grabbed my attention. Like, hey, ain't the best song I've ever heard for sure, but certainly better than the battle music for the NES original of the first Dragon Warrior game. Sorry, Cobalt, I know you seem to have a strong nostalgia for that one. I wish I could say I agree, my friend. But that battle music in the NES original of the first Dragon Warrior game wasn't the primary cause of the habit that ended with this game for me. But it certainly wasn't helping end it anytime soon. The thought of hearing that for every random battle in a game that was like 80% random battles. Yeah. If anything, that was helping make sure that I had that sound turned down so I didn't have to hear that battle music every time. Yeah. Yeah, looking back at it now, I don't know what it was about this. Because again, it's not exactly the. I mean, I rate it up there for nostalgic value because of that, but if I'm putting nostalgia aside, Ridley's lair from Super Metroid. The often chosen fan favorite for this game, Gerudo Valley. Yeah. Or the music from my favorite dungeon of the game, one of my favorite dungeons in all of Zelda history combined, the Spirit Temple. As I point out in my playthrough of the game last year. Dang it, I'm coughing. Yeah. Speaking of which, sorry for the lack of. Well, I mean, I've luckily recorded enough videos before I got sick, so I could just keep uploading them every so often. So it hasn't been much of a noticeable difference, but that might come to an end soon, as pretty much uploaded all the videos I had recorded except for the one that I'm now doing as I speak. So there may, until I can get over this cold, there may be a noticeable gap of days with no video uploads. I mean, actually, I still got a few from the Zelda Classic Fan Game End of Time that I recorded that I haven't uploaded yet, that I hinted at the end of the Randomizers series. But anyways, more about that some other time. Hopefully, get some medicine for it tomorrow and hopefully start feeling better again. But anyways, yeah. The music for this game. And now, I look back at it like I was saying, and it wasn't like this was the first game I ever played that had good music. It's just that this was the first game I ever played where I actually noticed that good music. Didn't make the choice of just drowning it out with whatever rock music I wanted to hear instead. But afterwards, I'd go back and play some of those older games like Super Metroid and A Link to the Past. And like, why didn't, what's wrong with me anyway? Why didn't I listen to this music? I mean, sure, the NES had some bad, like the battle music for the first Dragon Warrior game. Again, sorry, Cobalt, I know you seem to have some strong nostalgia for that theme, as is evidenced in one of our comment streams. Can't remember if it was in one of your videos or one of mine, but yeah. But anyways, yeah. That battle music for the NES original first Dragon Warrior game. Of course, it isn't just the soundtrack. This Final Fantasy IV has a good soundtrack. The rest of the game kind of sucks, but, the soundtrack is good. So, yeah. You can't just have a game with a good soundtrack and have everything else about the game suck. I mean, that's what they did with Final Fantasy IV. So, yeah. The game has to be good too, or who cares about how good the soundtrack is, Final Fantasy IV. I Meanwhile, we just could sit there and listen to the soundtrack, put the controller down, and just listen to your grade A score soundtrack. I mean, I suppose I could do that. Well, actually, like I think I said in a previous video, I've been playing the Switch version of the Pixel remaster of Final Fantasy IV, and it's actually surprisingly good. Yes, I said that. There actually does exist. There actually does exist, repeated with emphasis, a good version of Final Fantasy IV, gameplay-wise. It's a video gaming miracle. And right about now, I know, I'm going to have a legion of Final Fantasy fans on my ass, since that's one of the most, like the Ocarina of Time of the Final Fantasy franchise. One of the most often chosen fan favorite. One of them. Oh well, to each their own, my friends. Agree to disagree. I'll take Final Fantasy VII over Final Fantasy IV any day of any week. But yeah, anyways, getting back to the point here, you can't just have a good soundtrack and not have a good game to go with it, or nobody's going to care anyways. In Ocarina of Time, I mean, yeah, sure, it has its flaws, like the iron boots in the N64 original. Granted, when I played through it for my channel, I played the 3DS remake, almost said N64 remake, yeah, right. I played the 3DS remake where they fixed that by making the iron boots a touchscreen item. And that being one of the reasons why I chose that version. That and the aiming mechanics, although the bow and arrow aiming mechanics is, like I believe I pointed out several times in the playthrough last year, is more on me than it is on the gameplay itself, as I've seen people play the N64 original and can be, what's the term for that, crack marksman, or whatever the term for that is. Yeah. Have pinpoint accuracy. Never miss a target. So yeah, obviously the mechanics are sound, just the person playing the game that sucks. So yeah, let's not blame the game for my incompetence. But the 3DS remake does fix that, as I'm able to get perfect scores on those archery mini games like the one in Gerudo Valley. Or at least, maybe not perfect scores, but at least adequate enough to get the main prizes, as I think I did on my playthrough of that game. 100% for the first time ever. Used to be I'd never even bother with that heart piece from Gerudo Valley archery game while playing the N64 version. I'd have to go back and watch that footage. I don't even remember if I... But anyways, of course, sorry. Dang. The water temple. That's, a sticking point with a lot of people. But to be honest, I don't remember having that big of a problem with the water. Well, actually, I guess I can't say that. If I'm being completely honest, my first playthrough, I sucked at the water temple too. I mean, come on, let's be honest with myself, much less anybody watching this video. I mean, I don't mind the water temple now, after having replayed the game so many times. I can actually tolerate the water temple nowadays, but on my first playthrough, I hated it, and every subsequent replay for years to come, I would dread that point. I'd complete the ice cave, get the iron boots, warp to Lake Hylia, put down the controller, and sit there dreading the upcoming water temple for the next 5 minutes before actually playing through it. So yeah, I gotta be honest here. I mean, there's that part of me that would like to say I never had any problem with it, but yeah, I'd be lying to myself, much less anybody watching this video, if I actually went forward with that statement. So yeah. But again, I do stand on the idea that once you memorize which, like I point out in my playthrough of it last year, once you memorize the order of which rooms to go in what order, so that you always have keys on hand to open locked doors as you come across them, you're going to minimize the back. I mean, there's still going to be some backtracking, yes, but you can drastically minimize the amount of it as long as you always have keys on hand and don't get to a locked door and like, ah, shoot. Yeah, that's yeah, where a lot of the extra backtracking comes in, because then you got to go lower or raise the water level, get the key, go and re-raise or re-lower the water level to get to use it. Okay, that's the Altered Fire Temple theme. Of course, yeah, the soundtrack to Ocarina of Time did have a infamous theme here for the Fire Temple in the original 1.0 release day version of the game, that had some Muslim chants or something that very similarly resembled Muslim pray chants. So Nintendo quickly removed that in favor of this one and all subsequent remasters and remakes and re-releases. And for the longest time, be like, well, it's kind of glad, like I point out in my playthrough of the game, I'm kind of glad they did that, because that can get kind of annoying listening to that the whole playthrough of the dungeon. But the fact that they did so for religious reasons is what got me. People in their religion always got to argue over it because somebody doesn't believe in the same God they do and whatnot. I mean, that's the kind of thing John Lennon was talking about in Imagine when he said, "Imagine there's no heaven," or however he put that. Yeah. Imagine there's no religion to divide us, to make Nintendo have to quickly change their soundtrack song to avoid religious turmoils. Anyways, yeah. Speaking of the Water Temple, the song for it isn't even all that good. At least not to me anyways. I mean, again, it's a matter of opinion. There might be somebody out there that likes this one, but not me, not really. Alright. Well, gameplay-wise, my favorite dungeon, like I said earlier in this video, is the Spirit Temple. The idea of having to go through it in both time settings. Kind of like one of the dungeons in Oracle of Ages. I won't say which one specifically for spoiler reasons of a playthrough that I'm currently recording videos for. Well, as soon as I get over this cold, that is, get back to recording more videos for that series. Hopefully soon. And anyways, I like that. Since you have two different time frames, young and, well, teenage, they call it adult, but you're only like 16, 17 years old, not really an adult yet, technically speaking. But then again, I guess in some cultures, 16 is considered to be adult. So just here in the United States and North America in general, 16 is still teenager, not considered adult until 18, or in some cases 21. Actually, I think they changed that too now. Anyways, that's another subject for another time. Just point being, since you have the two different time settings, might as well have a dungeon where you got to go through it in both of them. At least one. I mean, you don't want to do that for every dungeon or the gimmick will get old. get tiring after a while if you had to do that for every dungeon in the game, but got to have at least one dungeon that utilizes that mechanic. Of course, in the Master Quest version of the game, there's an extra loop around having to go through it, go back as a kid to step on some switch or something. I don't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I've played the Master Quest version of the game that far into it, but vaguely remember there's some switch or something you have to hit as a kid and then go back to the present time to go through the door that's now opened or something to that effect. So yeah, in the Master Quest version of the Spirit Temple, I seem to recall there's an extra time of having to go back. Can't remember if that was for an optional Skulltulate token or not, though. Might have been. I should play through the Master Quest version of the game again. Got it on my 3DS, along with the base game. Only thing about that is the 3DS Master Quest, everything is mirror image, going the opposite direction. Kakariko Village that way? No. You're playing Master Quest on 3DS. Kakariko Village is over that way now. Yeah. Yeah, you finally get used to that. Then you go back to playing the original version of the game and oh, wait a minute, it's over here now. That's right. I'm playing the original game again. Yeah. I swear they did that just to be annoying. From what I heard, they did that with Twilight Princess too, but I've never played that game. Well, I did play it when it first came out, but never again. I can tell you that much right now. Even if they did come out with a version of it on HD remaster, even if they did re-release the HD remaster of it on Switch, frick that game. Anyways, again, like with Final Fantasy IV, I know I'm gonna catch it for that from some Zelda fan, as that's another, like this game, that's another one of the often cited fan favorites is Twilight Princess. Can't imagine why, but yeah. Anyways, not here to talk about Twilight Princess. And everybody's favorite companion character Shitna. I'm sorry, Twilight Princess fans, but that game to me is... Anyways. Final boss music. Not as epic as it could have been, but oh well. Of course, the mechanics for that battle were kind of copying what they had done with A Link to the Past, Ganon battle, or Aghanim battle, I meant to say, with the using the Master Sword to hit his beams back at him and hurt him that way. Which, if you really want to be technical, is an idea that started with the fourth dungeon boss, the dungeon boss of level 4 in Zelda 2. Only there it was with the reflect spell cast on your shield, and he'd hit your shield with the reflect spell cast on it and go back at him. That was the true origins of that whole idea. Then come A Link to the Past, it's the Master Sword hitting it. Only, as anybody who's ever played the game knows by now, with this one, they actually added a step to that. You're not just using his own beams against him. That only wounds him or injures, stuns him rather. Then you got to go in there and hit him, or no, you hit him with the light arrow, then go in there and hit him with your sword afterwards. So there's actually more to it in this time around. It's not just hurting him with his own magic, giving him a taste of his own medicine. There is actually more to it this time. And then he turns into Ganon in front of your eyes. They actually did have that in there. I mean, I commented on that in my playthrough of the game, how they didn't have it in there in the cutscene transition between young Link to adult Link. After you get after you pull the Master Sword and all that whole transition cutscene sequence, how they don't show it then. They kind of graze over it that Ganondorf has gotten the Triforce and now blah 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 has happened, blah blah. Yeah. They mention it in dialogue, but they don't really show it until the precursor to this final battle with Ganon. Which, I don't know. If I'm being completely honest, for Ganon battles, I mean, visually this one, the first Ganon battle in 3D, and you actually see him transform from Ganondorf to Ganon right in front of your eyes. So there's that to add to it, But battle mechanics wise, I gotta be honest here. I think the A Link to the Past Ganon battle was better. Visuals and all that aside, if you're talking just the mechanics of the boss battle and nothing else, then yeah. Being completely honest, with all due respect to the greatest game of all time, A Link to the Past did that final Ganon battle a lot better. Just more to it. You're not just whacking away at its tail every time he turns around, hitting him with the light arrow maybe. Anyways, suddenly realizing that I really don't have a whole lot more to say about this game than I haven't already said in previous videos. Other Zelda, other video game, freaking other videos in general. Frick, it's my favorite game, so I'm always talking about it, it seems like. So yeah, really don't have much more to add to this conversation that I haven't already said a dozen times already. To anybody who's been watching my videos over a long enough period of time is like, oh yeah, I know, I heard that before. So I think that's where I end this. As for future plans, well, first of all, getting over this dang cold. Get some medicine for it tomorrow. Payday. And hopefully by the end of the weekend be feeling normal, back to normal again. And if not, well, I'll just have to force myself to record some videos like I am with this one right now. As I just had to, given that today is, the 25th anniversary of this game, I just had to do some kind of video for it. So, trying to, Head cold or not, I just had to do something for this occasion. So worst case scenario, I'll just have to have that same determination in making new videos for the Oracle of Ages playthrough. Well, I'm working the next few days, so... But early next week I get some days off again, so... Head cold or not, you're gonna have to start making more videos as I just uploaded the last ones I had. All that's left, like I think I said already, are the first 2 or 3 for the End of Time Zelda Classic Fan Game series that I hinted at in the randomizer finale. Anyways, that'll about do it for my rambling video. Happy 25th birthday anniversary, Ocarina of Time. Happy Thanksgiving to the rest of the United States. And as always, thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.